Supreme Lord, eternal truth, let us obey thee alone and live according to truth. Paramocha Prabhu Satyam Nityatvamev Kevalam Anuvartamahi Satyam Anujivam Kevalam Om Shantihi Shantihi Shanti. Good evening, Namaste, Vande Mataram, welcome all of you. The topic to be discussed now is on aspiration. Very interesting topic. That is the most basic requisite on the path in the sense on the path towards sadhana. Of course, people who are following this track, who are passing on this track of sadhana, path of sadhana, so the most of course the requisite, basic requisite, which is coming almost very interestingly on the top, that will be aspiration. So, when we speak of the aspiration, we mean that aspiration should be for the full descent of the truth and the victory over falsehood in the world. So that is the aspiration we have known already. Aspire intensely, but mother course we must aspire intensely, but without impatience. So this aspiration, it is actually fully away, fully separated from the desire, because desire is very interesting thing. Entirely we aspire only for four things. Excluding these four things, whatever we ask for, that is actually desire. So aspiration of course shows the image of a crown. Here in the course we aspire for freedom, for God, for immortality, for the light. So this is for these four things we aspire for. Excluding these four things, whatever is our intention, for what we are yearning for, it is actually a desire. So when we aspire, aspiration shows the image of a crown, the crown which is reserved for the entire aspirants in the on the top. It is related to the higher consciousness. So here in the quotes again, those who come here have the aspiration and a possibility. Those who come here to this track, to this ashram, for this sadhana purpose, they have a aspiration and a possibility. Something in their psychic being pushes, and if they follow, if they will arrive. That if that intention is there, but that is not conversion. Here in the course, that is not conversion. Conversion is a turning. Actually, it is a different thing. Turning of the being away from lower beings towards the divine. That is conversion, and it is aspiration. Aspiration can lead, therefore, to conversion. Aspiration will bring pull towards the conversion, but aspiration is not conversion. That we must remember. So mother spoke again in different things on conversion, the turning of the soul decisively towards the divine. As per the mother's quotation, turning of the soul decisively towards the divine, inner realization of the divine, transformation of the nature. So among the three, the first two can happen swiftly and suddenly, and once for all. But third, transformation of the nature, that is different, always takes time and can't be done on one stroke. So three things some other quotes up immediately. One is turning of the soul decisively towards the divine. Second is inner realization of the divine. These two may come initially at the first stroke, but the transformation of the nature is of different and not on a done in a single stroke or in one moment. So one may become aware of the rapid change in this and the detail of the transformation, but even it is the rapid result of the long working, it may take long time. Again, mother quotes here, still in the quotes here, consecration is a progress by which one trains the consciousness to give itself to the divine. That is consecration. Trains the consciousness, someone, the one trains is the consciousness to give itself to the divine. But conversion is different. It is a spontaneous movement of the consciousness, a turning of it away from the external things towards the divine. It comes as well as the result of the touch from within and above. That conversion comes. Self consecration again may help one to open to the touch, or the touch may come by itself. But conversion may also come with the culmination of the long process of aspiration and tapasya. Very interesting. Culmination of the long process of aspiration and tapasya through which this conversion comes. There is no fixed rule in these all things, but things are, it is estimated things, estimated balance it. It is the psychic being which comes to the front. There is the requirement, psychic thing must come to the front. Then conversion becomes easy and may come, or may come instantaneously, or the conversion may bring psychic being into the front. So that is the condition anyways. For this conversion and all, psychic being must come to the front. Here again there is no rule, which one is faster, which one is later. That is also, there is no fixed rule as it is quoted. So in the either way, the touch and the realization also, and the psychic takes its proper place. As a result of the psychic may come to the front and prepare the nature of the realization. The anyway, anyhow, any track you follow, that is different, but thing is that psyche must come to the front. Again, still in the course of the transformation is the something that is progressive. It is progressive, not done in a single moment, single stroke, or single bit. So, but certainly there must be realization before the aim of the transformation is possible. We have discussed many things on realization, experience, etc. So, the before transformation realization is a must. Again, we'll see few things on transformation. We'll see. Before going for that in detail, aspiration is the call to the divine. Very minute observation, very brief comment, and very interesting observation. The idea given by Sri Aurobindo. Aspiration is a call to the divine. Will is the pressure of conscious force on nature. Will is the pressure of consciousness on nature. So aspiration is the call the divine. And again, there is no need of words in aspiration. It may be expressed or unexpressed in words. That is what Sri Aurobindo quotes. It may be expressed or unexpressed in the forms. In another quoting, we have seen that all sincere aspiration has its effect. Very assurance given by Sri Aurobindo. It is very interestingly, it is quoted here. All sincere aspiration has its effect. Then Sri Aurobindo again goes to one step forward. Aspire intensely but without impatience. Already we have sensed that impatience must not be there. Aspiration must be progressive. It must be the continuous process, and we must intensely aspire. But impatience is not actually, it is not at all a requirement there. It has no place. Because this yoga we have already known, this is it needs infinity patience. Nobody knows when it is going to happen. It is only the divine knows what is going to happen. If you are constant in aspiration, if you are not constant in aspiration, sorry, if you are not constant in aspiration, then nature will then sink back into the old lower ways. 3 or 4 steps we have already climbed up. If this consistency is gone, if that is neglected, if it is delinked, then again to the there is a pool of the back processes, and we will fall into it. There is no need of words already. It may be expressed or unexpressed in words. The intensity of aspiration brings the intensity of experience. Already we have a little bit discussed on realization, experience, etc. So intensity of aspiration brings in the intensity of experience, and by repeated intensity of experience comes the change. For this transformation, what we were discussing and Sri Aurobindo quoted. So it depends how you are intense in your aspiration and all. So again, Sri Aurobindo quotes very beautifully. The aspiration need not be in form of thought. Many times we don't know how to go for the aspiration. Aspiration need not be in the form of thought. It can be a feeling within and remains even when the mind is attending to the work. So again, it must be understood in a positive way, in a very clear way. The aspiration need not be in form of thought. It can be a feeling within, and that remains even when the mind is attending to the work. It is actually it is completely inner process. Aspiration is to call the forces. Again, what aspiration exactly means? It is the meaning in the just in a clear meaning. It's to call the forces when the forces have answered. Just we are calling the forces, and if these forces have answered, then there is a natural state of quiet receptivity. There is a call initially, that the call must be answered by the forces. Then there is a natural state of quiet receptivity, concentrated but spontaneous. Then there must be receptivity, and it must be a spontaneous receptivity. That is the process, a very interesting way and a step by step procedure. So one has to aspire the divine. Again, here in the course, whom we must aspire to. Aspiration, okay, that is a spontaneous process. Everything is there. Intensity of aspiration will do, and there must be consistency. Everything is okay. But the next question is whom to aspire. One has to aspire to the divine and surrender and leave it to the divine to do for the true and right with the adhara once it is perfected. Thing is that perfection, everything comes by the adhara. So things to be known when the adhara is prepared, basically it is ready. So for that there must be aspiration. One must aspire for the divine and the surrender and leave everything to the divine, that his decision will be the final, because he knows. And moreover, in spiritual quest and spiritual aggression, spiritual progress, everything is centering around divine. Divine is the goal, nothing else. It depends upon the stage in which one has reached, where you have reached, how much the progress is there, how long someone has gone. Personal aspiration is necessary until there is a condition in which all comes automatically. Personal aspiration, another step comes, that a personal aspiration is necessary until the condition in which all comes automatically, and only a certain knowledge and assent is necessary for the development. So for that entire thing, personal aspiration is necessary until there is the condition in which all comes automatically, and only a certain knowledge and assent is necessary for the development. Certain knowledge and assent is necessary for the development. Again, still in the course here, if there is there are good desires, but desires will come also, bad desires will come also. So desire, already we have quoted, along with the good desires, bad desires also come here. There is a place for will and aspiration, not for desire. So when we are going, so desire is not at all elusive or helpful in that attitude. Sometimes with desire also, bad desires also accompany, they come unwittingly. So if there is desire, there will be a attachment. Just imagine how the chain is coming. If there is a desire, there will be attachment, demand, craving, want of equanimity, sorrow at not getting. All that is on yogic. Very interestingly here in the course, it is on yogic. So very interestingly, we'll see if there is good desire, bad desires also come here. In the place of will and aspiration, these have got the place but not the desire. So if the desire is coming, then with the desire there comes attachment, demand, craving, and want of equanimity, sorrow, and at not getting. All that is on yogic. One should be satisfied. Other quotes here in the quotes here. One must be satisfied with what one gets, and still aspire quietly without struggle for more. But it's coming, that must be accepted, and that must be satisfactory for more till all has come. Oh, there must be actually aspiration, no desire, no struggle, aspiration, faith, oneness, and the grace. These are the requirement. No desire, no struggle, only aspiration, faith, openness, and the grace. These are the requirements, and these are the things that are helpful. And the aspiration is a very good process. Thank you.